Gwe, Ipjilidak, bonjour, bienvenue, hello and welcome to the beautiful Mainland Commons Field here in Halifax, Nova Scotia for day number one, game number one of the 2023 Baseball Canada Women's National Championships. My name is Michael Petter alongside Eric Fougere. And Eric, we have a great 4 days of baseball coming up.
Exciting times, exciting times. It's great to see all these teams come to the province et je vous souhaite la bienvenue à tous nos auditeurs.
A moment to quickly acknowledge that Mainland Commons, as well as the entire city of Halifax, the entire province of Nova Scotia, all lie within the ancestral unceded territory of Mi'kmaq. Our opening matchup, a very interesting one. We've got Nova Scotia against Quebec Team 2, and I'm going to let you quickly run us through the Quebec defense before I go through the Nova Scotia starting offense.
Great. Notre lanceur aujourd'hui va être Juliette Lajoie qui va lancer. Le receveur va être Sarah Beaulieu. Jouant au premier but, nous allons avoir Alexandra Lacroix. Ensuite de ça, au deuxième, Noël Frédéric. L'arrêt-court va être Ellie Larossa Gardner. Ensuite, le troisième but, Océane Lambert. Champ gauche, Sarah Beaulieu. Au champ centre, Megan Veilleux. Et puis, Éléonore Deblois au champ droit.
And you're leading off the hitter for Nova Scotia, who are the visiting team for this game. Ellie McCauley, the center fielder, will lead things off as we are underway here in Halifax. And there's a shot out to center field, an opening single to get things going for Nova Scotia. A great start for the visitors in this game, but the home team in this tournament. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Ali Stymist. We'll take you through the rest of the order here really quickly. Julia Konigshofer will bat third and play shortstop. Carly Jackson bats in the cleanup spot and plays third. Jada Lee, the pitcher, will bat fifth. Carly Snow, the second baseman, bats sixth. Rayleigh Nickerson playing right field and batting seventh. Leah Copeland plays left field and bats eighth, and batting ninth, Michaela Addington, who will be playing first base. As Stymist steps in, we get ready for the pitch to be delivered. And that one misses just a hair high, a close pitch there. I think I might have chased after that one.
Je suis d'accord, moi aussi je me serais lancé certain.
And when we're talking about a short tournament like this, it's only 4 days long, but teams are going to have to play a lot of games in a short period of time. Obviously, depth at the pitching position is going to be crucial in a tournament like this.
Absolutely. Les lanceuses vont être plus importants que jamais. Beaucoup d'efforts pendant les 4 prochains jours. C'est un marathon.
As pitcher looks in, gets the sign. And a throw over to first base, and diving back in safely is McCauley. Good move over to first there.
Yeah. Sa motion est très fluide. Un excellent jeu, j'avoue.
As we get ourselves set here. Once again, it's a bit of a cloudy day here. We had some fog earlier this morning, but it seems to be somewhat burning off at least. Wind, I think, the bigger factor in this game, though.
Ouais, ça serait le fun, un peu moins de vent.
Runner going, bunt down the third base line. Picked up by the pitcher, throw over to first. And it's just over the head of the first baseman, Lacroix. That will allow McCauley to get all the way over to third. Stymist will hang out at first base. That puts runners on the corners with nobody out. A great start here for Nova Scotia. Nicely laid down bunt.
Un excellent amorti. Malheureusement, le lanceur, son lancer est un peu haut pour la joueuse du premier but, mais c'est un jeu qui aurait dû être complété, à mon avis.
As not only are we going to be doing play-by-play, but we're going to be trying to keep you updated on our scoreboard here. So if we get a little bit behind, one of the things I like to always say is if there's a discrepancy between what you see on the scoreboard and what you know to be true, it's just because we haven't hit the button yet. As we have Julia Konigshofer, the shortstop, in here with runners on the corner. Big cut there, but misses. Good solid swing there, but a nice pitch.
Très bel élan, ouais, mais tout à fait.
So that will put Lajoie ahead in the count here. With, again, nobody out. Infield playing back. They'll trading out for a run at the early stage there. Nice breaking ball for strike 2.
Très beau lancer.
As we look to see if Nova Scotia maybe puts the runner from first base in motion here and try to set something up. But with 2 out, becomes dangerous. There's a line shot through the left side of the infield. That'll score a run. Moving up to second base is Stymist. And Nova Scotia out in front here early. They get 1 in the top of the first. And that puts runners at first and second with still nobody out. Carly Jackson coming up to bat. And and they caught Quebec napping a little bit. Stymist makes her way over to third base, and that puts runners back at the corners. And if the name Carly Jackson sounds familiar because you're a hockey fan, Carly Jackson, one of the 2 goaltenders for the Toronto 6 of the Premier Hockey League, the Women's League that plays out of Northeastern United States and Canada. Jackson, a pro hockey goaltender and a great baseball player as well, a true 2-sport athlete. Runner going from first, throw down to second, will not be in time, as that puts 2 in scoring position for Jackson. And I didn't catch the call on the pitch. Did you catch whether it was a ball or a strike?
Either. I was watching the runner. Malheureusement, la coureuse me distrait.
So 2 in scoring position here for Jackson with a chance for Nova Scotia to...
no strikes.
1-0 the count. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, they... That one in the dirt. It gets by the catcher, but not far enough for the runners to advance. That puts Jackson ahead in the count here, 2-0. Perhaps a little bit of nerves here in the early going for Lajoie?
It seems. She got hit pretty solidly. Des très beaux coups sûrs, des belles flèches.
And we've seen a couple of throwing miscues as well by the team in the early going. Grounder to second. That will get through the second baseman, Frederic, and that will bring 2 runs in.
Erreur au deuxième.
Chance for Quebec to at least get 1 out in the inning here, but it goes through the wickets on Frederic, and that will bring Jada Lee up to the plate. But before we get that, we get a meeting at the mound here.
Steve Auger veut parler avec ses troupes. Il semble un peu nerveuse, on dirait.
And probably trying to just settle the girls down a little bit here, or ladies down, excuse me. I'm not... I'm used to doing youth sports. This is the first event that I've covered in a long time where it's at the senior level. So if I refer to them as girls, it's not trying to be belittling or trying to be chauvinistic. It's
just habit.
Exactly, habit. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my experience is in youth baseball and in youth hockey doing play-by-play.
Yeah, so boys and girls versus men and women.
Exactly, yeah. And of course, at my age, you know, seeing all of these women in the hotel, they are very young women compared to me anyway. So.
They'll always be girls.
Exactly. So stepping in is Jada Lee. She's going to be the opposing pitcher to Lajoie when Nova Scotia takes the field in the bottom of the first. So a chance to help herself out here. With nice cut there, but a good pitch, and it's puts Lajoie ahead in the count here, 0-1.
Un excellent lancer de Lajoie, tout à fait raison.
Carly Jackson over at first base, 3-0 the score here in the early going. Runner going. Throw down in time.
Mais la balle est échappée au deuxième.
The throw was there, but Frederic just not able to get the handle on it. Oops.
Un beau vol de but, certainement.
As we get set here, Quick reminder that swing and a miss, and that is the first out of the inning as Jada Lee strikes out swinging.
3 prises consécutives.
And I think it's still only actually 3-0. There's an error on the scoreboard up there, yeah.
Okay.
That'll bring up Carly Snow, who plays second base for Nova Scotia. With the runner on second and 1 away here. Line shot out to deep center or left center field. That'll get all the way to the wall. Jackson will score easily in a stand-up double for Carly Snow. She got all of that one out to the left center field gap. That gives us a chance to quickly tell you the dimensions. It's 300 along the foul lines and 325 to straightaway center. So around there it'd be about 317 or so. And
Frappé très solide. Très solide.
Snow got all of that one for sure. And that does make it now 4-0. And brings up Rayleigh Nickerson.
Un appel au premier but, voir si elle avait touché au coussin. Aucun jeu. Appeal to first.
Yeah. And Snow obviously did make contact with the bag on her way around, so. Nickerson, the right fielder for Nova Scotia. Fouls that one off, first base side, and down in the count now 0-1.
Juste un peu à l'extérieur de la portée du premier but.
The wind seems to be shifting. It was earlier this morning blowing out to straightaway left. For a while it was blowing out straightaway center. Now it seems to be kind of blowing across left to right. So that could certainly play havoc with any pop flies here in this game, as it is quite strong, the wind.
Oh, no fausse balle.
Another foul, and now 0-2.
Aucune balle de prise. Coureuse au deuxième but.
Just the 1 away here in the top of the first inning, but that was by way of a strikeout, so that should give Lajoie some confidence. There's a grounder to third, gathered up, looks the runner back, now a throw across. In time, the runner goes after the throw and will get across. Heads up play there by Snow, waiting out the throw from LaSorcia Godmer, and then getting across to third base, so that puts her at third with now 2 away and brings up Leah Copeland, the left fielder. Great recognition there by Snow to hold off until the throw was delivered.
Yep. Le joueur de troisième but a bien fait son rôle aussi en essayant de la garder à son coussin. Oh.
Beautiful strike right across the top of the zone. 0-1 the count. Lajoie's got some good stuff out there on the mound here in the early going.
Elle lance très bien. Malheureusement, sa défensive laissait tomber un peu. Oh!
Just a hair low. I think the umpire indicating inside. Speaking of the umpire, we should tell you that calling the balls and strikes in this game, it will be Katrina Caudette from Ontario. Over at first base, Darcy Garrison is from Nova Scotia, and umping at third base, Martin Stubbs from Alberta. Grounder to third, good throw across the infield again, but it ends up pulling her off the bag. Lacroix, though, makes a nice play to hang on to the ball and make the tag for the third out.
Excellente vision de la joueuse de premier but, de bien aller saisir cette balle-là, puis de retirer son coureur.
So overall in that first inning, Nova Scotia with 4 runs on 3 hits. There were, I believe, 3 errors and 1 runner left on base. So we played half an inning. It is Nova Scotia 4, Quebec 2 coming to bat. I'll run you through the Nova Scotia defense here really quickly. We'll start in the outfield from left to right. It is Leah Copeland, Ellie McCauley, and Rayleigh Nickerson. Around the infield, third base, Carly Jackson. At shortstop, Julia Koningshofer. Second base will be Carly Snow, and playing first is Michaela Addington. Behind the plate is Ali Stymist, and your pitcher for Team Nova Scotia here this morning, Jada Lee. And Eric, I'll have you run us through the Quebec batting order.
Oui, la première frappeuse va être Océane Lambert, qui est l'arrêt-court, numéro 23. Noël Frédéric, qui est la joueuse de deuxième but. Elle va frapper au deuxième rang. Ensuite, Megan Veilleux, le champ-centre, qui va être au troisième rang. Au quatrième rang, Alexandra Lacroix, la joueuse de premier but. Éléonore Deblois, ensuite le champ droit qui suivra. Charlie Marcotte, qui est la frappeuse désignée aujourd'hui. Elodie Chiamaro, qui jouait à la position du receveur. Sarah Beaulieu, ensuite, qui était au champ gauche. Ellie Larosa Gardner, c'est-à-dire qui était la troisième but. Et puis Juliette Lajoie, qui va être la neuvième frappeuse de cette manche, de l'alignement aujourd'hui. Et puis on verra bien, parce que Québec va pouvoir répondre à ce que la Nouvelle-Écosse a livré au début de la première manche.
I think what you said, because my French is pretty poor, but I think what you said is Quebec needs to have a big inning here in response
They need to respond, that's right.
I catch a couple of words enough to get some context.
You're doing great. Oh,
big first fastball there
C'est beaucoup de vélocité.
For Lee, and a first pitch strike on Lambert. Another fastball in, fouled off this time by Lambert, and it looks like the Quebec batters are going to need to try to catch up to a fastball that's got some high velocity.
Beaucoup de zip, comme on dit.
Zip, there's a word that works the same in every language. That another fastball just misses, the count now 1-2.
Oh,
and a swing and a miss. And so a 4-pitch strikeout for Lee on Lambert. That'll bring up Noël Frédéric. And one of the things I really like about Lee here in the early going, not only is she throwing with high velocity, but she's not wasting a lot of time out there between pitches either.
Très efficace.
This is just low, ball 1.
C'était proche comme lancé quand même.
And that one catches the top of the zone. It's now 1-1 on the second baseman for Quebec.
Oof.
Swing and a miss. And ahead in the count, 1-2.
Elle était peut-être un peu haute, ce lancer-là, mais elle arrive avec tellement de vélocité que c'est difficile de résister. Oh, même lancé.
Just missing high.
That looks like the exact same pitch he just threw.
It did. But from our vantage point here on the third base side, that one also misses high.
Inside.
Full count.
Beau combat. Oh, bien frappé.
Good contact made out to left center field, and it's going to fall in between the outfielders.
Il tire ça vers le deuxième.
In for a double. Noël able to make contact and find the hole in left center field for a double. And that puts her at second base with one away, bringing up the center fielder, Megan Veilleux.
C'était une belle claque. Puis un beau combat entre le lanceur et le frappeur sur cet échange.
And Leah Copeland, great effort there out in left field, just not quite able to get there in time.
Pas facile avec le vent. The wind really a big factor, I think.
Yeah. As that one misses low, ball 1. I'd love to see Lee mix in a couple of change-ups or breaking balls here.
C'est seulement que des fastballs depuis le début. Des balles elle a une super balle rapide, mais un peu de variance, ça ferait faire du bien.
Down and in, and it's 2-0. As on that pitch, it looked like Lee wasn't even looking at the plate until she was halfway through her delivery. She was focused a little too much, perhaps, on Frédéric at second.
Well, Frédéric, elle a une excellente avance au deuxième, donc... oh, et là.
That one fouled back and hits the production truck back there.
On est encore sur les ondes, je pense.
We are getting danger pay, right? For
I
being
think so.
here?
I
okay,
hope.
good. Yeah.
We get a helmet. Oh.
Just bit outside and 3-1. As you mentioned, the first off-speed pitch we've seen from Jada Lee. Couldn't get Veilleux to chase, though.
L'intérieur. Oh! Et la coureuse qui vole le troisième sur le jeu.
And that will put the runners on the corners as Frédéric able to advance on the pass ball. Veilleux walks, and that brings up Alexandre Lacroix.
Qui frappe au quatrième rang. Ça peut être intéressant.
We saw Nova Scotia be aggressive on the base paths in the top of the first. Perhaps we'll see Quebec try to set up a double steal or something along those lines, depending on how things play out here.
La receveuse qui envoie des signaux à l'équipe.
And trailing 4-0 in the early going, you have to be a little bit aggressive to...
Il faut aller chercher des points, c'est important. Essayer de faire au moins de quoi pour revenir dans le match. Oh.
Pitch right at the belt for an opening strike on this exchange.
Très beau lancé.
As Lee is ahead. The 0-1 swing and a miss, runner going.
Oh.
And Stymist hangs on to the ball to not allow Frédéric to advance from third.
Oui, elle a consigné le vol de but. Avec le vent, c'est peut-être la meilleure décision. Les lancers sont difficiles. Oh!
Left field side, but it's going to spin foul. And not able to get over there in time was Copeland. So that makes it 0-2 here on Lacroix, the cleanup hitter for Team Quebec. Technically Quebec 2, as there are two different teams from Quebec here.
Deux équipes de Québec qui vont représenter dans le tournoi, tout à fait. Québec 1 qui suivra ce match immédiatement après.
Misses low, and it's 1-2. I think Lacroix was thinking about it there for a moment, but saw that it was going to just miss the zone.
J'avoue, c'était tentant comme lancer.
Took a little bit off of that one, missed out of the zone high, and it's now 2-2. Two pitch swing and a miss.
Oh, un retrait important.
And that's the second strikeout of the inning for Jada Lee. That'll bring up Eleanor Desblois. A heavy right-handed or heavy left-handed lineup here for Quebec.
Ouais, on dirait, c'est la date, c'est la quatrième, la troisième sur 5 lanceurs, 5 frappeurs.
Desblois, the right fielder for Team Quebec here. That one fouled off back towards us, but well over our heads, so we're safe for another few minutes.
Toujours en sécurité, toujours en sécurité. Je sais pas si notre abri nous protégeait vraiment aujourd'hui.
I'm more worried about the line drive. The pop-up, you know, the tent will save us, but the line drive, we'd be in trouble. As that one fouled off down the first base line.
Lee qui prend le contrôle, deux prises, aucune balle.
Lee here with a chance to possibly strike out the side to finish off this bottom of the first inning. 4-0 Nova Scotia out in front after a very strong top of the first. That one will miss high. 1-2. You want to go upstairs on that 0-2 pitch, but not quite that far upstairs.
C'est ça. Il faut essayer de faire courir un peu les frappeurs vers les balles, là, mais des fois, c'est tout à fait d'accord. Et
Swing
voilà,
and a miss.
troisième prise, 3 retraits. Laisser 2 coureurs sur les buts. Oh, ça fait mal.
No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We've played 1 complete inning here at the Mainland Commons Field, part of the Canada Games complex here in Halifax, and Team Nova Scotia out in front by a score of 4 to nothing. As there we go. And due up for Nova Scotia in the top of the 2nd inning, it'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters, Michaela Addington, and then back around to the top for Ellie McCauley and Ali Stymist. Got to take a moment as well here to talk about the field conditions. This field is in absolutely beautiful shape. They've done a lot of work over the last few days to get it ready, and it is looking spectacular.
Absolument d'accord avec toi, Mike. On a eu beaucoup de pluie dernièrement, pour ceux qui l'ont peut-être suivi dans les nouvelles. Donc, l'équipe a travaillé très fort. Le terrain est tellement beau. Gazon bien équilibré. Et puis, on voit aucune flaque d'eau. Donc, tout est très bien aspiré. Donc, excellent travail de l'équipe technique ici, c'est certain.
And for those of you perhaps who are unilingual, one of the things that Eric was referring to there is the amount of rain we've had in the last few days. Not so much the last couple of days, but last weekend we had heavy rains. We had some flooding, not here at the field, but in nearby areas. And so the work that has been done to get this field ready has been absolutely phenomenal.
Tout à fait. Très d'accord, Mike.
So here's Michaela Addington, the first baseman, leading things off in the top of the 2nd inning. Nova Scotia out in front 4-0. And the first pitch from Lajoie in for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. Catches the top of the zone, and it's quickly 0-2 in favor of the Quebec pitcher. Very nice mix-up of locations there on those first 2 pitches.
Tout à fait. L'arbitre semble bien aimer les balles hautes aussi, à mon avis. Oh! Un élan un peu faible.
Late decision to take the cut there by Addington, but able to get a piece of the ball to stay alive. And it's still 0-2. Addington right up at the top of the battering zone now. She's backs up a half a step. And just gets a piece of that one to stay alive.
Elle protège le marbre. Ça s'assure de tout ce qui est proche. Elle fait un élan au moins fort.
Here comes another 0-2 delivery.
Oh, bien fait.
And she makes good contact there, but coming in hard and making the catch. Sarah Beaulieu out in left field.
Vraiment, à la dernière seconde, une très belle attrapée de Sarah pour le premier retrait.
Sometimes just getting the bat on the ball is enough, and it was good contact there, but Beaulieu with a great effort able to make the first out. That brings up Ellie McCauley. She led off the game with a single back in the 1st inning, and so she's up here 1 for 1 so far on the day. She also did come around to score as part of that 4-run first.
Oh, beau lancer de Lajoie. Très beau lancer de Lajoie là-dessus.
Takes the first pitch, strike. Good curve ball there. And through the left side of the infield, 2 for 2 on the day now is McCauley as she gets back-to-back singles.
Ouais, une autre belle flèche bien frappée entre le 3e et l'arrêt court. Un excellente cogne.
That brings up Ali Stymist. She reached on an error her first time up as she laid down a bunt to try and sacrifice McCauley over to first, but the throw ended up going just over the head of the first baseman, Lacroix. So Stymist technically 0 for 1, but she did reach base and came around to score. Throw back over to first. Another good move and just getting back in.
Juste à temps, j'avoue. La joie a une excellente motion vers le premier but.
Looked like Macaulay maybe leaning a little bit towards going there, but had to react quickly and get back just under the tag. Coming back to Stymist at the plate, her sister Jill, also part of this team Nova Scotia. Another throw over to first. And getting back in again is Macaulay. And I'm sure everyone at Procter & Gamble and all the other laundry detergent manufacturers very appreciative of that.
Ouais, les uniformes, ils vont être sales après 4 jours de baseball, je pense.
Third straight throw over to first, and Macaulay gets back in again.
Ouais, je crois que Macaulay, on la craint un peu, sa vitesse sur les buts. On va essayer de la garder près du premier.
Lajoie shakes off the first sign, takes the second one. Now she'll deliver. That one misses just high. And it's 2-0 on Ali Stymist, the catcher for Nova Scotia. Runner going, throw down to second, gets there in time, but just getting under the tag is Macaulay.
Et le lancer, c'était une prise en plus.
Great attempt there by Lambert to get the tag down, but Macaulay somehow just gets under it.
Le lancer était à temps. Bonne course de la coureuse, c'est certain.
That one misses high out of the zone, and it's 2-1. Couple of looks back to second. Now the delivery. That one also misses just high. 3-1. She's not missing the zone by very much.
Ses lancers sont précis, mais c'est vraiment quelques centimètres.
Good discipline by the Nova Scotia hitters as well to not chase after those balls that are close to the zone.
Oh, deuxième prise.
That one right down the middle.
Un compte complet.
Full count now, one away, runner on second, top of the second inning here. Opening game of the tournament. Swing and a miss.
Beau combat. Très bien fait de Lajoie de revenir et aller chercher son frappeur sur celui-là.
And here's one of the few words I know, deuxième strikeout for Lajoie. That brings up Königshofer. She had an RBI single her first time up. Came around to score as well as part of that 4-run inning.
L'équipe Québec semble savoir calmer un peu après la première manche.
As you say, they're settling down a little bit.
Settling down. Un peu haut. Première balle.
Lajoie doing a good job as well of mixing up her speeds. She mixes location, she mixes speed very well.
Elle n'a pas la puissance de ligne. Oh, excellent.
And another good strike there. 1-1 now the count on Königshofer. Wind seems to be dying down a little bit. Of course, as I say that, a gust comes up.
Même un peu de soleil, on dirait. Oh, bien frappé.
Grounder right at the third baseman. Throw across the infield on target and in time for the third out of the inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, one runner left on base. So a very good bounce back inning there for the Quebec defensively as we go to the bottom of the second inning with the score remaining 4-0 in favor of Team Nova Scotia. And due up for Quebec in the bottom of the second.
Charlie Marcotte qui va être la première frappeuse, Elodie Chiamaro qui suivra, et puis Sarah Beaulieu qui sera les 3 premiers frappeurs de notre manche. Suite de ça, Ellie Larosa Gardner qui viendra au 4e rang dans cette manche, et Juliette Lajoie, notre lanceuse, qui pourrait ensuite venir compléter.
And so that is what Lee will be facing here in the bottom of the second inning. Quick reminder again, the second game of the tournament on an infield single.
Frappé faiblement vers le joueur de premier but, mais Chiamaro a vraiment fait un effort de bien courir la ligne et d'aller chercher son premier but. Ne jamais abandonner sur aucune balle frappée, ça c'est certain.
That'll bring up Sarah Beaulieu, the left fielder. She had a nice defensive play back in the top of the second inning, just earlier in this inning. Throw over to first, but it's gonna get away from Addington, and that will allow Chiamaro to get over to second base. Throwing error there by Lee. Puts a runner in scoring position, and we're going to get a timeout. As Nova Scotia coaching staff wanting to have a quick chat. And I believe, of course, I've gone and lost that page on my computer, so.
On a l'équipe de Nouvelle-Écosse qui se calme un peu, mais...
I believe that was Jason Addington who went out and had a chat. Mike Koningshofer is the head coach of this Nova Scotia team, but and if I'm incorrect, I do apologize, but I believe that was Jason Addington who went out there to have the chat. And the next pitch misses just down, and it's 1-0 here on Sarah Beaulieu.
Balle avance au deuxième but. Oh. Balle fausse.
And that one goes right off the top of the truck on that, the production truck over there.
Le camion technique reçoit beaucoup de balles aujourd'hui.
Fortunately, it looks like it's a pretty sturdy vehicle, so it'll be all right.
Un autre lancé un peu bas. Deuxième balle.
When I used to do PA announcing at baseball tournaments, I always had a standard line: if you park where a foul ball can hit it and it hits it, it's your own fault.
On connaît tous de stationner loin des fausses balles, c'est certain.
Next delivery from Lee.
Oh,
Catches at the knees. 2-2. Very nice pitch there.
Tout à fait, je suis d'accord. Bien positionné, beaucoup de vélocité. Lee lance très fort.
Oh. Pulled foul.
On aurait dit le frapper court, hit and run.
Runner's going to have to go back to first, though, or back to second, as there was a foul ball there.
Oh, a balk.
Oh, a balk was called.
Oh.
Okay.
On a manqué ça.
I think that just missed outside. It's from our vantage point, we can tell high and low. It's hard to tell though inside outside. Yeah.
Compte complet, 3 balles, 2 prises.
Three-two pitch misses high, and that'll put runners at the corners with one away. Bringing up Ellie Lasorcia-Godmer, the third baseman.
Et la coureuse a avancé au troisième sur une feinte irrégulière. Je cherchais mon terme tantôt pour Buck.
And Stymist going over the defensive signs for Team Nova Scotia, so they know what will be happening if the runner from first, Beaulieu, decides to take off. Lee with a quick look over to first. She'll deliver. That one popped foul, first base side, well out of play.
On la visite de CBC.
We got CBC up here. We got photographers up here. Our popular spot.
Et voilà. Beau lancer.
Lasorcia-Godmer thought about swinging there, but just held off.
Ouais, Ellie, ça lui a tenté, on aurait dit.
Oh, 0-2 now the count, so Lasorcia-Godmer is going to have to protect the plate. Runner going, but Lasorcia-Godmer had to swing there, as that one would have been strike three, but she fouls it off, so it'll remain 0-2. Beaulieu got a good jump, though.
Encore, je crois, le frappé court semble le hit and run, comme on dit plus communément.
The 0-2 delivery, and again, just fouling it off.
Excellent combat de la Sorasa-Godmer.
Great battle between these two here, as Lasorcia-Godmer fouling off a couple of very good, very tough pitches.
Lee, c'est pas facile de suivre son lancer. Elle a beaucoup de vélocité. Il y a un peu d'action dans le... Un autre fausse balle. Ooh.
Fouled off again, and Stymist got a piece of it, but not enough to make the catch and get the second out.
On aurait dit que ça lui a frappé l'épaule.
Lasorcia-Godmer still playing at 16U regularly, but playing at the senior level here at these national championships. Runner going this time again, and
On lui...
that one misses high for a ball, and so...
Oh, la coureuse croyait qu'il y avait une fausse balle. Après toutes les fausses balles, elle est habituée. Une balle, 2 prises.
And now 2 in scoring position for Team Quebec.
Oh,
She gets a hold of that one out to right field, but it will hang up and get all the way to Nickerson, who makes the catch. She's not going to be able to get it in time to stop the run.
Et voilà, Québec avec son premier point de la journée.
So a sacrifice fly, RBI for La Source Godmer, scores Chimero, and it's now 4-1.
C'était une excellente présence au bâton pour la Sorsa Gardner. Beaucoup travaillé pour garder son équipe en jeu. Et puis, un beau ballon au champ droit pour permettre le tag au troisième pour aller garder.
And also advancing on that play, Beaulieu gets over to third. That brings us back around to Oceane Lambert.
À l'intérieur.
Lambert struck out her first time up. 0 for 1 so far on the day.
Oh,
fouls that one off, and it's 1-1. Lambert was part of the 21U women's team that won the championship last year in Newfoundland.
Une belle expérience, une très bonne joueuse, originaire de Saint-Joseph-de-Beauce. Bonjour à tous nos Beaucerois. Beaucerons.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. As Lee 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, having given up 1 run so far.
Oh!
Grounder right back to Lee.
Attrapé par Lee et le jeu au premier but pour le troisième retrait.
So 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We've played 2 complete here in Halifax, and it is Nova Scotia leading it by a score of 4-1. And due up in the top of the 3rd inning, it'll be Carly Jackson, Jada Lee, and Carly Snow, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Team Nova Scotia. And just taking a look at the time, we're still about 15 minutes away from first pitch in the game over at Weirfield. And Weirfield over in Lower Sackville, one of those spots that the rain from last weekend, fortunately, Weirfield was able to get put back into shape for this tournament.
Pas Upper Sackville?
Lower Sackville.
Oui, OK. Je croyais que c'était Upper Sackville. OK, parfait.
I think. I could be wrong. One of the other fields that Hammond's Plains baseball used to use quite a bit over in Bedford was really damaged.
Ah, absolument. Le terrain, Lenahan, John et... voyons, qui, en fait, c'est Lenahan Field, nommé pour un couple. Tellement de pluie que les jeunes s'en servaient comme piscine. On voyait des jeunes sauter du backstop, faire des cannonballs, comme on dit.
Yeah, and you know it's been a wild 8 or 9 months here or 10 months here in Nova Scotia.
Absolument.
Between
des ouragans, des feux de forêt, des inondations. On a passé par plusieurs choses ces temps-ci.
Are you sure you want to move here from Quebec? Grounder to third, off the third base.
Et voilà, un drôle d'effet, frapper le troisième coussin sur sa balle bien frappée le long de la ligne. Ça lui donne le premier coup sûr de sa journée.
Sometimes you got to be lucky to be good, and Jackson gets a little bit of help from the bag there. That'll bring up Jada Lee. She's 0 for 1. She struck out her first time up.
La joueuse de troisième but était très bonne à date, donc elle semblait être sur cette balle-là. Malheureusement, le coussin avait d'autres idées. Oh!
Line shot into left field, but it'll just pull foul.
Très bien frappé.
Just getting ahead of that one.
Oui, tout à fait.
That does put Lajoie ahead in the count here, 0-1. Top of the 3rd inning, Nova Scotia ahead 4-1. She did swing, says our umpire, and so it's now 0-2. And again, that's Katrina Codette from Ontario who's calling the balls and strikes there. Lee wants another check through the signs from her third base coach. Now she'll step back in.
Je crois qu'on respecte la motion de la joie. Oh.
Runner going, swing and a miss, strike 3. Jackson gets in under the tag.
Un excellent lancer. Presque un double jeu là-dessus avec le retrait sur 3 prises. Le lancer est à temps, mais un peu haut.
And for those who didn't catch that, almost a strike him out, throw him out double play, but Jackson able to just get in under the tag. Great throw there from the catcher, Chimero, but just a little bit high.
Tout à fait. Jackson, un beau départ sur ce vol de but.
That brings up Carly Snow. She had an RBI double her first time up. Swing and a miss there, and it's strike 1 on the second baseman for Team Nova Scotia. And with all the good contact we've seen in the game so far, Snow the only one with an extra base hit so far. That double that she had back in inning number 1. Pops this one up. It's foul on the first base side, and it will get out of play.
Snow, ça claque dans la première manche. T'es arrivé facilement au deuxième. Un stand-up double, comme on dit.
Yeah. Out to left center. All the way to the fence. That double back in the first. And another hard hit ball. It'll drop in front of the center fielder. Jackson going on contact, was able to get to third, not able to get all the way around to score as that ball was actually hit a little bit too hard for her to be able to make it home from second on that single. That brings up Rayleigh Nickerson. She grounded out to third her first time up. Comes up here with runners on the corners and one away. Quebec looking for a double play if possible, trying to get themselves out of this inning. And with it being runners on first and third, Chimero steps out and gives the defensive signals in the event that Snow takes off from first. Another well-hit ball, but it'll hold up and be caught out in right field by Deblois. That'll be the second out of the inning.
Beau jeu de Deblois, de rentrer rapidement cette balle, garder son coureur au troisième. Excellent jeu.
And I think Jackson was expecting that ball to fall, and and she got caught off the bag, didn't go back and tag up in time.
Ouais. Avec le vent aussi, la balle bougeait beaucoup.
So that'll bring up Leah Copeland. She's 0 for 1, grounding out to third back in the first inning. As Lajoie has really settled down now. She's retired 4 of the last 6 batters she's faced, but just misses with that first pitch.
Un peu haut, un peu haut. Oh, fausse balle.
Out of play, third base side. Brings the count to 1-1. As I'm sure you can hear through our headphones that the wind has picked up a little bit again. Nice. Off-speed pitch delivered by Lajoie, and she's now ahead in the count, 1-2.
Une belle balle à effet, certainement.
One strike away from getting out of the inning.
Fausse
Fouled off. As that one went off the bat, off the ground, and off the foot.
Ça a tout frappé.
Copeland stepping back in here. Down in the count, 1-2.
Là, voici troisième prise.
What a curveball there for a third strike.
Bon, la joie, fière d'elle-même, elle vient de mériter. C'était un excellent lancer.
The quatrième strikeout for La Joie. Being a math teacher is part of my other job. I do know my numbers.
Your numbers in French.
And little. I know the numbers a little bit in French. I know the numbers a little bit in Mi'kmaq. Know the numbers okay in English.
I hope it's okay.
And due up in the, actually, let's run it through here. In the top of the third inning, there were no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the third with Quebec still trailing 4-1, and due up for Quebec in the bottom of inning number 3.
Noël Frédérix va être la première frappeuse de cette manche, suivie de Megan Veilleux et Alexandra Lacroix, qui sont nos 3 premières frappeuses de cette manche, qui est la fin de la 3e.
And that'll be Jada Lee facing them again. Lee with 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, I'm looking at the wrong side here. 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts so far for Lee. So both of these pitchers with 4 strikeouts to this point. A really good pitching matchup that we're seeing. And if not for 1 half inning that Nova Scotia was able to be pretty strong on the bats and Quebec was a little bit tentative defensively, this is a very different ball game.
Tout à fait. On enlève les erreurs de la première manche et puis je crois que c'est 1-0 pour le Québec, mais il faut dire que les balles ont été très bien frappées aussi par la Nouvelle-Écosse dans cette première manche.
And both teams now very much settled in and showing why these players are here at a national championship. We've got high quality baseball, and I defy anybody to tell me that because this is women's ball, it's not as good. This is high quality baseball.
Tout à fait. Les joueurs sont ici pour jouer et puis c'est vraiment un excellent calibre. On voit de très beaux jeux, de très bons lancers et puis des bonnes frappeuses.
I misspoke earlier when I said that Snow had the only extra base hit because Noël Frédéric had a double as well in the first inning, so she's 1 for 1.
La joueuse de deuxième but.
Skies this one.
Oh, difficile avec le vent.
And it falls in.
Un ballon au champ droit, deuxième but, beaucoup de misère. Le vent fait bouger les balles. C'est très, très, très difficile de juger.
And I think what you said there was basically to paraphrase slightly, give the wind an assist on that one. It will go in the books as a single for Frédéric, so she's 2 for 2. That'll bring up Megan Veilleux. She walked her first time up, so still no official at-bats at this point. Runners not on the corners yet. Trying to talk about the game, watch the game, and work the computer at the same time.
On fait de mieux. On va s'améliorer. On a 4 matchs aujourd'hui, Mike.
By the time we get to the end of the day, end of the week, we'll have it down cold. 1-1 the count here on Veilleux. Swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2.
Un bel élan quand même.
9 teams in total at this tournament, and by the end of Sunday, one of them will be named national champion. Technically not a Baseball Canada national championship. It's a national invitational, which is slightly different, but still, if you're able to come out of it with a win, you've earned it. Grounder gets knocked down at second base.
Ouais, bien frappé dans le trou.
And it looked for a second there that like Snow was kind of maybe rolled an ankle a little bit or something, the way she stopped at the end of the play there, and she's still...
Mal tombé après la suite du jeu.
So back-to-back singles. I'm pretty sure that our official score is going to call that a single. I can't imagine that he wouldn't.
Snow a fait un bel effort pour aller au moins l'arrêter d'arrêter dans le champ puis empêcher les coureurs d'avancer plus loin.
So that puts runners at first and second with still nobody out, and Alexandra Lacroix coming up. She's one of the 4 strikeout victims of Lee so far this morning.
On est dans la situation d'un infield fly.
And that first pitch misses just outside. 1-0 the count here on Lacroix.
Oh. Un changement de vitesse de Lee.
Nice off-speed pitch there, and it's now 1-1.
Une balle, une prise. Oh. Un foul tip.
Lacroix just getting a piece of that ball, but not enough, so it's 1-2 now.
Oh.
That one fouled back, and
Oh, il manque le camion technique encore une fois.
so it'll remain 1-2 with Frederic at second, Vea at first. Here in the bottom of inning number 3. And another foul back. These hitters for both of these teams making contact, but the pitcher's doing a good job of...
Oh!
As the expression goes, she pulled the string on that one.
Oui, tout à fait. Une belle balle courbe qui a bien mordu à la dernière seconde.
And Lee, the 5e strikeout for Lee.
We'll have you bilingual by the end of this.
And it looks like we're going to see a change here. I didn't think there was there were pitch count rules at the senior level, but apparently there are, because as Lee hits pitch number 60, she is going to come out of the game, and I think that's so that she can be available on Sunday.
On veut la garder pour les autres matchs importants, c'est certain. Lee, elle a lancé une très belle, un très beau match à date, évidemment. 3 manches et 1 tiers.
And that
2 manches et 1 tiers.
And I see a couple of other defensive changes. Leah Copeland, who had been playing left field, is now catching. And the new pitcher is going to be Jill Stymist. So I was about to say that we were going to see the Stymist sisters together in the battery, but that is not the case. So Jill Stymist coming in to pitch.
C'est un moment fier pour un père de voir ses 2 filles dans la batterie, comme on dit, au premier lanceur, mais malheureusement, on a changé de receveur également.
So Copeland is now behind the plate. I believe that means that Allie Stymist is now in left field. We'll have to try and get confirmation of that. Just taking a quick look around. Unfortunately, where we're positioned, we don't get official word on any changes of things. We have to just be paying attention ourselves, and sometimes we miss a thing or two. So the book is not closed on Lee yet, as she is still responsible for the 2 runners on base, but she did pitch 2 1/3 innings with 5 strikeouts, which right there, that's a good day. But she also did give up 4 hits and 2 walks and 1 run. And like I said, still responsible for the runners on first and second, but a great pitching effort by Jada Lee here to open this tournament. And now we're going to see another right-hander, Jill Stymist, taking over on the mound, and the first batter that she will face will be Eleanor Desblois, who was one of the 5 strikeout victims of Lee when she was up back in the first. Comes up here with 1 out and 2 on in the bottom of inning number 3 and takes the first pitch for a ball. Or actually, did I get that? It's Katie Hagen, excuse me. My apologies. I thought I was seeing an 18 there. It's actually 16. So it's Katie Hagen who is now pitching.
Oh, beau lancer.
I think I need to go back to my optometrist and get my prescription changed on my glasses. That is 16, not 18 out there pitching. So Katie Hagen, the new pitcher.
Toujours en situation de chandelle intérieure. Ouf.
That
Ça l'a
one
tenté frappeur.
must have been inside because height-wise it was right there. 3-1 now the count on Desblois.
Oh,
hard shot through the left side of the infield. Coming around to Frederique, had to hold up. She was thinking about going, but...
Elle semblait avoir fait le tour. Son entraîneur au troisième a retenu la coureuse. Je suis pas certain. Je pense qu'elle avait la chance d'y aller. Elle avait un bon élan. Elle a dû ralentir un peu pour la flèche qui a passé près d'elle, mais une belle course.
The stop sign thrown up there to make sure that you never want to make it out on the base paths if you can avoid it. And now the bases are loaded for Charlie Marcotte. Marcotte, also one of those strikeout victims. Hers was to lead off the second and takes a first pitch strike there. Good breaking ball from Hagen, who has taken over for Lee.
Oh, intérieur. Une balle, une prise.
The corner infielders in on the grass looking for perhaps a suicide squeeze, while the middle infielders back at double play depth try to trade 2 runs, or with 1 already out. If they can get the double play, they'd be out of the inning. There's a swing and a miss, and the count now 1-2.
Un bel élan, par contre. Oh,
that one misses in the dirt and gets by the catcher. That will allow Frederique to score. Also moving up, Veilleux gets to third, Desblois gets to second, and Quebec now within 2. It's 4-2.
Un seul retrait encore dans cette manche.
Jackson still well in at third base. And that one just fouled off. Remains 2-2. Hagen delivers, and a hard hit ball through the middle. That'll score 1.
Et voilà, l'avance est maintenant de 4-3.
RBI single for Marcotte. That'll bring up Elodie Chamero. She singled, came around to score the first run of the game for Quebec back in the second.
Avec des coureurs sur les coins, voici les signaux de receveurs au sujet des vols de but.
Runners on the corners here with 1 away.
Une autre balle basse, bien bloquée par le receveur. Ou la receveuse.
We talked in the opening about the importance of the depth of the pitching. And the fact that, you know, you need to keep Lee available for Sunday, so you had to pull her out after 2 1/3. Obviously, in an ideal world, you'd want to let her keep going while she was going, but and not to take anything away from Hagen. Hagen has done some good pitching here in this her first inning of work, but she's had just a couple of balls hard hit. And another hard hit ball out to center. That's going to drop in for a base hit, putting runners at first and second, and now tying up the ball game.
Très belle flèche au champ centre, frappé d'appoint. Voici le match est maintenant 4-4. Beau comeback à date pour l'équipe Québec numéro 2.
And that'll bring up Sarah Beaulieu. She walked her first time up, ended up being stranded at third base. And
il y a de l'action dans l'enclos des releveurs.
And a quick chat on the mound here for Hagen.
Et voilà qu'on a Sarah Beaulieu qui vient frapper. Originaire de Rivière-du-Loup.
Plenty of experience.
Ouais, ouais, 14 ans ça fait 14 ans qu'elle joue au baseball, Sarah.
Oh. Pulls it foul down the first base side. Good location there by Hagen down in the zone on that one.
Je pense que les frappeuses du Québec ont un peu de relève en voyant que c'est plus Lee qui lance avec autant de vélocité. Hagen doesn't have the same juice.
Not quite, no. Although I don't think anybody in this tournament is going to have quite the same juice as Lee does. That one will miss high, and the count goes to 1-1.
Une balle courbe qui n'a pas bordu.
I wish we had a radar gun available to us for maybe by Sunday we'll get one set up that we'll have access to. Grounder to second, gathered in to 2 for 1. To second, to first, but the throw gets away. So that will allow Marcotte to score. Chamorro is out at second base, but the throwing error puts Beaulieu at second. So no RBI on the run scored by Marcotte there to make it 5-4 for Quebec. The 4-6-3 double play not turned.
Oh, et voici Elie Larosa-Godmer.
And a first pitch fly out to left field.
Pour finir la manche.
But 4 runs come around to score on 5 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. And for the first time in this game, Quebec 2 has the lead over Nova Scotia. And now it's going to be up to the Blue Nosers to try and respond to a big inning from Quebec when we get to the top of the 4th here momentarily, and it'll be 9-1-2 due up for Nova Scotia. Michaela Addington, Ellie McCauley, and Ali Stymist due up for Team Nova Scotia to try and face the pitcher Juliette Lajoie, who is out there for her 4th inning of work. And just taking a quick look around the field to see if there are any defensive changes. Doesn't appear to be any.
Maybe catcher? No.
I think it was because Chamorro was on base late in that inning. It took an extra minute for her to get ready. Looks like the defensive alignment for Quebec remains the same. So Michaela Addington leading things off here. She flew out to left her first time up back in the 2nd inning. Comes up to lead things off here in inning number 4.
Juliette Lajoie qui commence sa 4e manche.
There we go. Lajoie steps off. Now she's back in, ready to go. Ahead in the count 0-1.
Oh.
And what a dive and grab there by Frédéric, up and gets the throw across in time.
Frédéric, tout à fait. Un beau plongé. Oh. Et voilà, Around the Horn a mal fonctionné, mais Frédéric se reprend énormément pour une première manche qui était un peu plus difficile pour elle, mais voici qu'elle fait un merveilleux jeu avec un beau lancer au premier pour retirer la première frappeuse de manche.
Send that one over to those three-letter networks to see if we can get it on the highlights of the night.
Yeah.
That'll bring up Ellie McCauley. She's only 2 for 2 so far today with a run scored.
Seulement, hein, 2 pour 2. Petite journée.
And now she's 3 for 3, a line shot back up the middle.
Oui, une excellente flèche sur le premier lancer, frappé d'aplomb.
That'll bring up Allie Stymus. She's 0 for 2, reached on an error and struck out. With Nova Scotia trailing for the first time in this game, 5-4. But whoops, if I put that in the right spot on my little book here. Stymus, who had started the game as catcher, I believe is now playing left field for Team Nova Scotia. Fouls off the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Bonne avance au premier but pour la coureuse également.
And
excellente motion de Lajoie. Toujours, Juliette Lajoie fait une bonne tentative de retrait au premier but.
And taking a quick look at an update from Weir Field. Top of the first inning, doing well for the team who is the visiting team in that one. Ontario 2 with a pair of runs in the first. They have the bases loaded still with 1 out. They're taking on Manitoba. As that pitch doesn't miss by much, but it does miss, and so the count goes to 1-1 here. And again, if you want to switch back and forth between games, just click back out to the main page of AO Live. You'll have to scroll it over a little bit to get day 1 on Weir Field, and enjoy the broadcast from over there. And we have to give a big shout out to Dixon Cho, who set up all of the gear on both fields. Grounder to second, gathered up by Frederic, over to first in time.
Et voilà.
And that will be the second out of the inning. And I say his name, and Dixon appears and brings us water. It's amazing.
Thank you, Dixon.
I just finished saying something nice about you, and then you bring us water. It's perfect.
Jeez, see what it was. Keep saying nice things. Maybe we'll get some beer later.
Hey, there we go.
La coureuse avance au deuxième but sur le jeu. Encore un autre beau jeu de Frédéric pour le retrait.
Julia Konigshofer up now. She had an RBI single in the first, came around to score, grounded out to third in the second. So she's 1 for 2 on the day.
Un peu à l'extérieur, première balle.
And ahead in the count, 1-0. Advancing to second on that ground ball was McCauley, so runner in scoring position here, the potential tying run.
Oh, bien frappé, vers la droite.
Out to right field, and it will drop in for a single. McCauley rounds third. She's going to head for home. She'll get there in time. And we are once again tied up at 5. Konigshofer's second RBI of the game.
Belle course du deuxième également pour se rendre, venir marquer là-dessus.
That'll bring up Carly Jackson. She's 1 for 2, reached on an error and singled in her 2 previous plate appearances. As these two teams continue to go back and forth here, and we see Quebec 1 have arrived. They'll be playing in the next game here. Grounder to second.
Et voilà. Le troisième retrait de la manche.
Noël Frédéric with all 3 assists.
Ouais, 3 assists sur dans cette manche-là avec des très beaux jeux.
So 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base in the top of the 4th. We've played 3.5. We're exactly at the midway point of the game, and we are all square. 5s
Et
apiece.
voilà, 5-5. Un excellent match qui se développe. Bon courage des deux équipes.
And we'll be at the top of the order in the bottom of the 4th.
Et voilà, on commence avec Océane Lambert, Noël Frédéric et puis Megan Veilleux qui vont être nos 3 premières frappeuses de la manche. On est un bon rythme à date dans ce match, je trouve. On a déjà fait 3 manches et demie et puis il passerait quand même assez rapidement.
As Hagen back out there for her first full inning of work. She did come in with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Je crois qu'elle a eu un point mérité dans cette manche-là. Les 2 premiers points, évidemment, ont été donnés à Ali, qui était la lanceuse juste avant elle.
And a quick update from Weirfield. Ontario has put up another run. They now have 3 in the top of the 1st. That's Ontario 2. Both Ontario and Quebec sending 2 teams each, as well as single representation from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Nova Scotia, the other 5 teams here. No teams from Newfoundland, Labrador, Prince Edward Island, or New Brunswick, or of course any of the territories. Unfortunately, just not quite enough ball players to draw from in those provinces.
Malheureusement, tout à fait.
But the game is continuing to grow. We're seeing it grow across the country.
Le baseball féminin, tout à fait. On voit beaucoup d'enthousiasme. Je sais qu'ici à Hammonds Plain, nos équipes ont doublé depuis l'année dernière, avoir de plus en plus d'équipes et à tous les niveaux. Au 12U, le 14U, le 16U, on commence à voir beaucoup de jeunes qui se développent. Très intéressant, le baseball en Nouvelle-Écosse, en tout cas.
Océane Lambert, 0 for 2 so far on the day, leading off here in the 4th inning and takes a first pitch strike. As Hagen out there. And that one misses, I believe, just a bit low and outside, 1-1. And we see action again.
Dans l'enclos.
The bullpen? In the Nova Scotia bullpen, yeah. And I thought I saw some people head towards the Quebec bullpen as well a few moments ago.
On ne peut pas vraiment voir ce qui se passe de ce côté-là.
Yeah, the bullpen for Quebec, not quite in our line of sight, so we'll...
Oh, bien frappé.
Well hit out to center field, but it's going to hang up and be caught by Ellie McCauley. So that will be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Noelle Frederic. She's 2 for 2 so far on the day. Doubled in the first, singled and came around to score part of that 4-run 3rd inning. And now comes up here with the bases empty and 1 away in the bottom of inning number 4.
Un peu bas.
And
première balle.
Just off to the left of our broadcast position here, sitting up in the stands, the other Quebec team who will be playing on this field at noon, out to cheer on their counterparts. Grounder to first, and the throw to Hagen.
Un peu malcommode comme lancé. La joueuse de premier but a hésité un peu en attendant que son lanceur se rende pour faire le relais. Et je pense qu'une petite erreur...
It looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there as well, like you take it, I got it kind of thing. Unfortunately, made the play a little more difficult for Nova Scotia, and that's what led to that error. So that'll bring up Megan Veilleux. She's reached base both times she's been up, walked in the first, singled, and came around to score in the 3rd. And pops this one straight up in the air. And Hagen making the catch herself just in front of the mound for the 2nd out of the inning. And that's one of those plays where normally, or at the major league level anyway, you see the pitchers, they'll back right off.
They get away, They don't want no part of that.
But Hagen looks very comfortable there fielding that ball herself.
Tout à fait. Elle a été chercher cette balle-là sans hésitation, très confiante.
That brings up Alexandra Lacroix. She's struck out twice in her first 2 plate appearances.
Oh,
And swings and misses there. Ball ends up in the dirt, and that allows Frederic to get up to second base. It looked like Frederic was going with the pitch anyway.
Ouais, le lancer était déjà parti, donc Hagen n'a pas retenu beaucoup au premier but, je trouve.
Hagen ahead in the count here, 0-1. Grounder right back to Hagen.
Facilement attrapé. Et le relais au premier qui met fin à cette manche.
And that will do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the 5th. 5s all over the board. 5 runs for Nova Scotia, 5 runs for Quebec, and 5 innings about to be started here at the Mainland Common Fields in beautiful Halifax, Nova Scotia. Due up for Nova Scotia in the top of the 5th. It'll be Katie Hagen, followed by Carly Snow and Rayleigh Nickerson.
Oui, comme on dit, les 5 sont frimés. 5-5 en 5e manche. Voici la joie qui ressort encore pour une autre manche.
Nichols wild, I guess. Speaking of Nichols, if any of my family from the Sudbury area are watching, hi guys.
The nickel capital of Canada.
Have you ever been up there and seen the big nickel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time I saw it, it was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, you know, it's sort of once you see one of those large, oversized kind of things, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but
yeah. Well, we have the Blue Nose Dime in Lunenburg.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not as impressive as the nickel.
No. Actually, the Blue Nose itself is going to be heading up towards my hometown of Pictou coming up here in a couple of weeks. About 5 or 6 weeks it's going to be up there to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Hector arriving.
Oh.
So we're pretty excited to have the Blue Nose heading up that way. As Katie Hagen makes her first plate appearance of the game and quickly introduces herself by putting it over the head of the center fielder, Megan Vailleux.
On voit peut-être un triple.
And she is going to get into third.
Oh!
Safely.
Hagen qui aide sa cause avec une belle course après la balle, se rendre au 3e. Je suis pas sûr si on donne une erreur aux chansantes là-dessus.
It was one of those plays, it looked like, for Vailleux out in center field, where when it's hit right at you like that, it's hard to judge the distance and the height, and it looked like it. She took her first step was coming in, and the ball ended up coming over her head. So
le vent, je crois que c'est le vent qui a vraiment joué de la sorte dans cette manche.
That'll bring up Carly Snow. She's 2 for 2 with a single, a double, and an RBI. A swing and a miss there.
Elle a frappé des balles vraiment d'appoint, Carly Snow, aujourd'hui. She hit them hard.
Yeah. And trying to see the pitch count for Lajoie up in the box over there. Another hard hit ball, and that one is going to get to the fence again.
Snow qui frappe très fort aujourd'hui, de très belles claques. Et voilà que la Nouvelle-Écosse reprend l'avance.
Another RBI double for Carly Snow. She's 3 for 3 on the day. And as you said, hit the ball very hard all 3 times she's hit it. I know we're very early in the tournament and we haven't even seen a lot of the other teams, but I'd put her up there in the early conversation for most dangerous hitter in the whole field. It brings up Rayleigh Nickerson. She's 0 for 2 on the tournament so far.
Oh, bon lancer.
Curve ball in for a strike. I say curveball, although it could have been slider, could have been, you know, it's hard to tell from this angle sometimes which breaking pitch it is, but it was a good breaking pitch either way. Fastball off the fist towards first base and getting over and making the out there. was Lajoie, as Lacroix was able to pick up the ball, get it over to Lajoie in time for the first out. Snow advances to third. Snow advancing to third on the play. That'll bring up Leah Copeland. She's 0 for 2.
Oh, une visite de Steve Auger.
And I think we are at the pitch count point where it's going to be the end of the day, and that does seem to be the indication. So Juliette Lajoie will be coming out.
Très beau match de Lajoie, bien lancé.
And it looks like our new pitcher is going to be Micah Lavallee, or Lavallee?
Lavallee.
Lavallee, okay. So Micah Lavallee comes in to take over on the mound. Obviously, this is her first appearance in the tournament since this is game number 1. And the book not closed yet on Lajoie because she is still responsible for Snow over at third base, but we can tell you that she pitched 4 1/3 innings, giving up 6 runs. 4 of them were earned. 6 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 runs on 10 hits. Again, 4 of the runs were earned. She had 5 strikeouts, and I don't believe she walked a batter.
Non, je pense qu'il n'y a aucun but sur balle de Lajoie dans les 4 manches et 1 tiers qu'elle a lancé.
So, overall, a very good pitching performance for Lajoie, and again, coming out of this game so that she will be available for Sunday.
Plus tard, tout à fait.
And would not be at all surprised to see these two teams the way they've been playing. They've both been hitting the ball well.
Ouais.
They've both been playing good defense after those first couple of little stumbles early on.
La première manche était un peu plus difficile pour l'équipe Québec. Une couple d'erreurs là-dessus, tout à fait.
So I would not be at all surprised to see these two teams be involved in some of the key action on Saturday and or Sunday. And so to have Lee available for Nova Scotia and to have Lajoie available for Quebec, obviously that's one of the challenges of being a coach in a tournament like this. We talked about the need for the depth, but it's also the strategizing of, okay, I got to make sure I've got this person ready for there and that person there.
On peut pas brûler tous nos lanceurs dans la première manche.
And the first batter that our new pitcher Lavallee will face is Leah Copeland. Copeland 0 for 2 on the tournament. And takes the first pitch, strike.
Beau lancé.
This is the first lefty we've seen on the mound so far today as well.
Une patte gauche, comme on dit au Québec.
That one misses down and away, and it's now 1-1. So the Nova Scotia hitters having to adjust from having seen a right-hander through the first 4 1/3, now seeing a lefty.
Oh, frappé de champ opposé.
To left field, it'll drop in for a base hit. That'll score Snow.
Et voilà.
And Nova Scotia now in front 7-5. And that will close the book on Lajoie. That'll finish off her line with a 7th run. So 7 runs, 5 of them earned for Lajoie in that pitching appearance. And Michaela Addington will come up to the plate. She's 0 for 2. Flew out to left, grounded out to second, her 2 previous plate appearances.
Oh, et voici un amorti. Fausse balle.
Those pitches high and in,
Hard
hard to get the bunt down.
Hard to bunt those.
Addington doing a good job just making contact with that one, but not able to get the bunt laid down.
Nope.
Throw over to first, and another close play.
Faut faire attention avec un gaucher, une gauchère.
Yeah. A nice quick step-off move, nothing fancy there. Another good move over to first.
No crossover on that leg, no balk. Umpires watching closely.
Yeah.
Oh!
Not quite sure where that missed.
Ça semblait comme une prise, mais écoute.
And again, but again, from our vantage point where we're watching, we can't see inside, outside. So that may have missed the plate just outside.
Oh!
And
Voici une balle passée et la coureuse avance au deuxième.
And the indication was that Addington did not hold up on the swing.
Yeah.
So that should be strike 3.
Is it 3?
Or no, sorry, it's 1 and 2 now.
Foul ball, yeah.
The foul ball, then the one that missed that we thought was a strike. And I also, looking up at the scoreboard there, they didn't have the first ball marked.
Une autre fausse balle.
Still 1 and 2. Copeland did get over to second on the pass ball there, so there is a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And not quite sure what that conversation was about there.
Steve Auger qui vient parler avec l'arbitre du marbre.
Addington down in the count, 1 and 2 here with 1 away.
Oh!
Now we do get a balk.
Je crois que c'était un transfert de la balle au gant qui lui a fait une feinte irrégulière, avançant la coureuse au 3e maintenant.
And that one misses perhaps just a bit high.
Semblait un peu haut, oui.
And it's now 2 and 2. Copeland getting a good lead off of third.
Oh!
And another pulling of the string leads to a strikeout. That's 2 away, brings us back around to the top of the order. Ellie McCauley, she's 3 for 3 with 3 singles, has come around to score twice.
Court très bien, McCauley aussi.
Hasn't hit the ball quite as hard as Snow has, but is also 3 for 3.
Un peu bas. Bien bloqué par la receveuse.
(7-5) for Nova Scotia. If you're just tuning in, Nova Scotia with 4 in the first, 1 in the fourth, 2 here so far in the fifth. Quebec had 1 in the third, or 1 in the second, and 4 in the third for their 5 runs.
Michael Lavalin a un peu de difficulté à trouver le marbre sur ces 2 derniers lancers.
And a quick update from Weir. Ontario had 3 runs in the first inning and 3 on base, but they were not able to add to that mark, so they ended up with just 3 in the first. Manitoba did not score in the bottom of the first. We're now into the top of the second inning over there with Ontario 2 up on Manitoba by a score of 3-0. Another one misses low.
Ouais,
And
troisième balle au sol pour la vallée dans cette...
Now, I need to preface this by saying I am not a pitching coach, but it looks to me, the way Lavallee is getting those balls down in the dirt in front of the plate, it looks to me like maybe her release point is just a little too late, and so she's carrying the ball down a little too far. That time missed high, and the walk for McCauley puts her on base for the 4th time, and has runners on the corner with 2 away for Ali Stymist, who did move to left field. I did get that part right. Stymist 0 for 3, but she has reached once on an error and did come around to score that time that she did get on base. Here comes the first pitch to Stymist.
Oh,
runner going.
Oh.
And the throw cut off so that Copeland couldn't get away from third.
Ouais, c'est un jeu pour essayer de tenter la joueuse de la coureuse au troisième d'aller chercher le marbre. Bien essayé, mais ça n'a pas mordu.
So Stymist now down in the count, 0-1. Grounder to third.
Oh!
It gets by the third baseman, La Sorsa Godmer, and coming around to score 2 runs on that play. So a two RBI for Stymist. I believe they're going to call that a single.
Ah oui?
I think. That's a tough call because that one.
C'était frappé fort. C'est vraiment bien frappé avec beaucoup de vélocité. La Sorsa Godmer là-dessus, qui a été très solide à date au troisième but, a fait des excellents jeux, juste pas été capable de mettre son gant dessus.
Brings up Julia Konigshofer. She's 2 for 3 with 2 singles, 2 RBI. That pitch misses high as Nova Scotia, for the second time in this game, gets a 4-run inning. And we'll have to wait and see whether they do call that a single or an error. We'll wait for the official scorer to give the summary at the end of the inning.
Oh!
And she gets all of that one, and we might have seen, no, it falls just short of the fence.
Oh, quelle frappe! Une excellente claque qui va jusqu'à la clôture à 324 pieds.
And for those who missed that, what Eric just said was just short of the 325 sign in straightaway center field. Big hit there for Konigshofer. And that puts runners at second and third now with 2 away. Carly Jackson back up to the plate. She's 1 for 3, a single, reached on an error, and has come around to score once. That pitch misses high and away. Ball 1 to Jackson, who has won championships in baseball, won championships in hockey, including with the Toronto Six.
Oh, et voilà. Frappé
Slow roller down to first.
Oh!
But Jackson showing some speed, and now coming all the way around from second to score on the play. Konigshofer heads up base running there, came all the way around from second base to score on the infield single. And that puts 6 runs up here in this inning as Nova Scotia has batted around. And that'll bring up Katie Hagan, who had her first plate appearance to start this inning and tripled and came around to score. And a first pitch strike there coming from Lavallee.
Ouais, le jeu au premier but, c'est encore une fois, on aurait dit qui prenait la balle, qui prenait le coussin, et puis très bel effort de Jackson de courir fort là-dessus.
That one fouled off. Ends up hitting a pole, then hitting the top of the Nova Scotia dugout over on the first base side. 0-2 the count here on Hagen. Some hard hit balls by Nova Scotia here in the top of the fifth.
Oh!
She got Jackson going the wrong way.
Oh! Une excellente motion vers le premier but pour aller chercher la coureuse qui, je crois, était déjà sur son élan vers le deuxième.
But Nova Scotia does get 6 runs in that inning.
Un consenti par la joie et je crois que les 4 autres, ou peut-être même 5 autres étaient au nom de Lavallee, malheureusement.
Trying to hear if... Can't quite hear whether they announced it as how many hits and how many errors in that inning. I tend to be kind of generous as a scorer. I'm going to give that as a hit.
That was a hit.
So it ends up being 6 runs on 6 hits. There was 1 walk, and 1 runner ended up being left on base. We've played 4.5. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning with Nova Scotia now leading by 6 runs. It's 11-5, and Quebec due up here in the bottom of inning number 5.
Donc, Éléonore de Blois, Charlie Marcotte et Élodie Chiamaro qui vont être les 3 premières frappeuses de cette manche. Un peu de terrain à reprendre là-dessus. 6 points donnés dans la dernière, au début de la cinquième par l'équipe Québec. On doit travailler fort pour aller chercher ça.
And we know that Quebec does have the hitting talent to get back into this game. They've already had 1 4-run inning, and so this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, non, il faut pas fermer les livres tout de suite.
So Desblois leads things off here. She's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Hagen's first pitch down just below the knees for a ball.
C'est un peu à l'intérieur. Inside.
Yeah. That one misses high and outside, and the count goes to 2-0.
Oh, frappé. Un ballon.
Into shallow
Et
right
voilà
center,
encore.
and it ends up falling in.
C'est la deuxième fois qu'on voit ça avec Snow, malheureusement. Le vent qui semble toujours faire de sorte.
And I think that one again, a bit the wind playing a bit of havoc on that one. So for Desblois, that puts her at first base with nobody out, and that'll bring up Marcotte. She's 1 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. And fouls that one straight back. And so Hagen ahead in the count here, 0-1.
Oh, un bel élan.
0-2 now the count. Looking ahead, Quebec 1 and Ontario 1 will be our next game at 12 noon. Then Quebec 2 will be right back on the field here at 3 o'clock to take on Ontario 2.
Et autre chose barre.
And then we'll have the opening ceremonies for the tournament, and then our last game of the day at 7:30. Saskatchewan will take the field for the first time to take on this Nova Scotia team, and that will be the final action on day number 1. The one other game on Weir, besides the game that's going on now, will be BC against Alberta. So we'll get our first look at BC and Alberta tomorrow. Meanwhile, there's a ball out to left center, and that will drop in for a single. So back-to-back hits for Quebec to start off the bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up Elodie Chamero. She's 2 for 2 with an RBI, a run scored. And the first pitch, in for a strike. Hagen doing a good job of getting in front of hitters early in the count.
Tout à fait, Mike.
Unfortunately for her, though, later in the count, she's given up some well-hit balls. 1-1 now.
On est en situation de chandelle intérieure, de infield fly pour ceux qui suivent.
Grounder right at the first baseman.
Qui doit attendre que son arrêt court vienne au deuxième.
And the shortstop, Konigshofer, a little bit slow getting over to the bag there. Otherwise, they might have been able to turn the double play, but they do get Marcotte out at second, puts runners on the corners with one away. And brings up Sarah Beaulieu. She walked in the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the third. And there's another grounder to the first baseman, and again over covering the bag, Konigshofer for the second out of the inning. That's a couple of nice plays made there at first base by Michaela Addington. Back-to-back plays but a run does come in to score as Desblois able to get in. But when you're ahead by what was was 6 and is now 5, you're willing to trade an out for a run at this point of the game.
Get the easy play.
Yeah.
Fais ce qui compte. Oh, et voilà.
Now we're going to have a pinch runner.
Oui, une coureuse qui vient de frapper, le numéro 21.
A courtesy runner because it's the catcher? Yes.
Ah ouais, OK.
Or no, because that's Beaulieu who was at first. So perhaps it is an actual substitute. Yeah, because coming in, it's Melody Ouimet at...
Mélodie Ouimet qui vient courir, tout à fait. On n'est pas certain que c'est pour une situation de receveur qui doit mettre l'équipement. Des fois, on fait des coureurs de courtoisie, comme on dit.
Meanwhile, Ellie Lasorsa Godmer up to bat. She's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly RBI back in the second inning. Runner going. And as Copeland had a little bit of trouble receiving that ball,
facilement volé.
Ouimet will reach second without a throw.
Court très bien, Mélodie Ouimet. Oh, frappé au centre.
Right over the
head. On envoie Ouimet à la maison. Oh, et ouais, non, on va la garder au troisième.
Ouimet stops at third. Lasorsa Godmer with the single. Puts runners at the corners, 2 away. And back around to the top of the order, Océane Lambert. Lambert 0 for 3.
Journée difficile à la plaque pour Océane.
And I think we're going to see another pitching change here prior to that.
On discute. Il y a de l'activité dans l'enclos, donc il y a quelqu'un qui se prépare. Je ne suis pas certain qu'on va...
Or perhaps this is just a meeting. Yeah, no change taking place as of yet.
Kelly Hagan qui reste lanceuse.
So Lambert comes up, as mentioned, 0 for 3 on the day. But comes up here with runners on the corners, 2 away, bottom of the 5th inning. 11-6 in favor of Nova Scotia.
L'équipe Québec a besoin de ses coureuses.
And a first pitch strike. I haven't been tracking it, but it feels like just about every batter, Hagen's getting a first pitch strike.
Une autre beau lancer. On aurait dit une balle courte.
And so now Hagen ahead in the count, 0-2. Has a chance to get out of this inning without any further damage. That one misses low, and
but volé.
Lasorsa Godmer will get down to second base, putting 2 in scoring position for Lambert. They appeal down to first. She did not go.
Bien résisté. Lambert là-dessus, le lancer lui tentait énormément.
Lambert doing a great job holding off on the swing there, for those who didn't catch the translation. Holds off again, and the pitch just misses, so now the count full.
Compte complet, 2 retraits, deux coureurs en position de marquer. Un moment tournant du match.
Grounder to second, gathered in by Snow, over to first in time.
Et voilà qui finit.
So back-to-back singles to start the inning but Quebec only able to put one on the board in the bottom of the fifth. One run on 3 hits overall, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We've played 5 complete. We'll go to the 6th with Team Nova Scotia leading Quebec 2 by a score of 11-6. Due up in the top of the 6th, it'll be Katie Hagen coming back up as she was at the plate when Jackson was picked off of first base. So it'll be Hagen, Snow, and Nickerson due up for Team Nova Scotia, and back out there for her first full inning of work after coming in the top of the 5th. It is Micah Lavallée back out there for Team Quebec. And we'll again take a quick check on what's going on over in Sackville. It is still Ontario 2 leading by a score of 3-0. They're now into the bottom of the 2nd over there. That game, a 10 o'clock start. They'll also have a game going at 2 p.m. this afternoon. That'll be BC and Alberta. And as mentioned, our next game scheduled for 12 noon, Quebec 1 versus Ontario 1. And then we'll have at 3 o'clock Quebec 2 and Ontario 2. And then rounding out the day, 7:30 after the opening ceremonies, it will be Nova Scotia back out for their second game of the day, taking on Saskatchewan. And that Saskatchewan team, looking through the roster, a couple of those players have been here to Nova Scotia before at the U16 and the U18 tournaments that have been held here. And some very good ball players.
Whoa.
And here's Hagen with another hard hit ball, but this one will be caught, as able to get over and underneath it is Vailleux for the first out of the inning. Hagen had a triple her first time up, but this time hits it hard, but just a little bit too high, allowing Vailleux to get to it.
Tout à fait. Bien frappé, puis tout de même, c'était profond.
And here comes the hard-hitting Carly Snow. She's 3 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 RBI, and a run scored.
Toute frappée d'aplomb. Et une autre frappée très fort vers le champ droit.
And Snow now 4 for 4 on the day. 4 hard hit balls, 2 singles, 2 doubles. Brings up Rayleigh Nickerson, 0 for 3 on the day, 2 ground outs and a fly out. One on, one out here, top of inning number 6. Grounder to third, over to second for 1.
Le double.
In time!
Beau double jeu. Pour se sortir de la manche. Beau jeu de la Sorsa Godmer, va bien recueillir cette balle.
La Sorsa Godmer able to pick up that ground ball, throw to second. Frederic with the nice turn at second base, gets it over to Lacroix in time for the double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base, and that's our first inning where we've had only 3 batters come up to the plate.
Yeah.
Not quite a 3 up, 3 down in the traditional sense, but it still counts. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th with the score still Quebec trailing by a score of 11-6 to Team Nova Scotia.
Et puis nos frappeuses de cette manche-là, on va commencer avec Frédéric Noël, Megan Veilleux et puis Alexandra Lacroix. Donc évidemment, du chemin à faire, mais encore beaucoup de baseball devant nous.
And Hagen back out there for another inning of work. She came in the 4th, or she came in the 3rd, excuse me.
Troisième, ouais.
Yeah. And so she's done 2 2/3 so far. And she's got, I think, if I can see that correctly, she's got about 14 or 15 pitches available to her to still be available on Sunday, if I'm seeing that correctly.
You can see that.
Barely. I can sort of see a little bit, and I'm trying to...
It looks like 46.
Yeah. Couldn't tell for sure if that was a 46 or a 45 or maybe a 48 or...
On doit regarder au travers d'un backstop et dans un angle, c'est pas évident.
Frédéric Noël, 2 for 3 so far, but has reached base all 3 times. Singled, doubled, and reached on an error. Came around to score once. And is ahead in the count 1-0. And now 1-1.
Hey, beau lancer de Hagen là-dessus. Oh, oui.
Another nice breaking pitch, and now Hagen ahead in the count 1-2. Bayou waiting on deck.
Oh.
As that one just will stay fair. Jackson not able to get to it in time, I don't think. Great play there by Snow backing up. Addington.
Oh, de bon. On aurait dit que c'était une fausse balle qui est revenue dans le terrain.
That ball took just enough of a bounce there on the dirt. It ended up coming back onto the grass and staying fair for an infield hit.
Une belle course de Noël pour s'assurer de se rendre au premier.
That brings up Megan Vailleux. She's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
À l'extérieur, première balle.
Frederic at first base with some speed. That pitch misses down, and it's 2-0. Missed inside, I believe.
Je crois que oui, c'était à l'intérieur. 3 balles, aucune prise. Le bâton devrait rester sur l'épaule ici. Quatrième balle.
A 4-pitch walk will put runners at first and second, still nobody out, and bring up Alexandra Lacroix.
Je crois que c'est le premier but sur balle de Miss Hagen là-dessus. Her first walk.
Yes. Yep. And Lacroix comes up. She's 0 for 3 so far today.
Alexandra frappe au 4e rang. La puissance habituellement. Oh.
Takes a first pitch strike there, and the count 0-1.
Encore en situation de chandelle intérieure.
Quebec on the day now with 3 walks overall, as Lee had walked 2. Swing and a miss there, and now Hagen ahead in the count 0-2.
Un bel élan par contre, mais un peu en retard.
And a 4-pitch walk followed immediately by a 3-pitch strikeout.
Elle a toutes passé ses balles au dernier frappeur. Journée un peu difficile pour Alexandra Lacroix qui frappait au 4e rang. Pour sa 4e présence avec 3 retraits sur des prises. 3 strikeouts for Alexandra.
Yes. Yep. That brings up Eleanor Deblois. She's 2 for 3 with 2 singles and 2 runs scored. And for Quebec, this being the bottom of the 6th inning, trailing by 5, and the first 2 batters getting on base, they really have to take advantage of this opportunity.
Absolument, Mike. C'est super important. Ils ne doivent pas laisser ces coureurs-là sur les chantiers.
And we had CBC up here with us earlier. Now we got CTV up. Thanks for joining us.
Des bonnes nouvelles ici à Halifax. On est visité de toutes nos chaînes de médias.
And there's a strike right at the knees. Beautiful pitch.
Oh, frappé fort.
Right to the shortstop, over to second for 1. Not in time to turn 2. The ball just not quite hit hard enough there to get the double play. Great effort, though, by Team Nova Scotia. Good turn.
Snow avait un peu de misère à sortir la balle de son gant, je crois.
And a well-played ball by Koenigshofer at short as well there to get it over to Snow as quickly as she did, but just not quite able to turn the 2.
Les coureurs au coin.
So that brings up Marcotte. She's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. She also has an RBI and a run scored.
Extérieur, première balle.
For Hagen, after allowing the first 2 runners to get on base to get the next 2 outs, this now a very big batter in this game.
Première prise. 1-1.
You know, there are certain points in games where you look at a batter and go, this is going to be a key one when you look back, and this certainly is one of those cases. And she fouls that one well out of play off the first base side, and it's 1-2. Hagen was able to pitch herself out of a jam in the 5th. And looks to be pitching herself out of a jam here in the 6th as well. Runner going, but...
On lui donne le deuxième but. Un autre but volé.
And I think one of that part of that decision being we're ahead by 5. Let's not do anything to take an unnecessary risk.
Oh, no.
And the ball ends up in the dirt, so they do have to throw down to first to get the 3rd out. But Hagen, with a pair of strikeouts and ground out, able to get herself out of that 2-on, nobody out jam, and we'll go to the 7th.
Et voilà.
Nova Scotia leading it 11-6. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the 2 runners left on base.
Eh oui, la frappeuse qui a un peu couru après cette balle, était un peu basse, tentait quand même de faire de quoi avec la balle au sol, mais malheureusement, un peu de manque de discipline.
And so we will go to the 7th, and in the 7th for Nova Scotia, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1. That's Leah Copeland, Michaela Addington, and then back around to the top of the order for Ellie McCauley. And it is still Micah Lavallee out there on the mound for Team Quebec. And we'll again give you a quick update here. The score remains the same over at Weir Field. They're now into the top of the 3rd. With Ontario 2 leading 3-0 over Manitoba. And again, AO Live will be bringing you every single game from this event. So if you want to check out the action over at Weir Field, just head back out to the main menu, click on the other link that says Day 1, and you'll get that game, and then of course come back here and you can flip back and forth as many times as you want. This is the main field. We'll have more of the games here, but not taking anything away from the games that are going to be played over on that field. It's going to be fantastic baseball for 4 days here in beautiful Nova Scotia. Nice strike as Copeland kept the bat on the shoulder that time. Copeland 1 for 3 so far, an RBI single. Good swing there, but just
Un foul tip, comme on dit.
Just not able to get square contact. That one will miss low, 2-2.
Une autre balle basse. Le compte complet.
Here comes the payoff pitch.
Oh, frappé d'aplomb.
Right at the shortstop, Lambert.
Lambert fait un beau jeu.
Across the diamond in time. 1 away. That brings up Michaela Addington. Addington 0 for 3. Defense, no, we're going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Natalie Cormier coming in to pinch hit. So Cormier making her first appearance here in the tournament. First pitch misses high and outside, ball 1.
Oh, frappé. Et jeu facile pour Frédéric Noël.
No, Frederic with the catch there on the line out. So 2 up, 2 down, back around to the top of the order. Ellie McCauley, who has reached base all 4 times, 3 singles and a walk. 3 of those 4 times she's come around to score.
Excellent comme holder.
And
Oh!
that one will just get past the shortstop Lambert. So reaching base now 5 times on 5 plate appearances is McCauley. 4 hits and a walk. And that'll bring up Ali Stymist. Stymist 1 for 4, a single with 2 RBIs. She also reached on an error and has come around to score both times that she reached base. And I don't know if it's the same on, let me just double check something here.
Oh, un ballon
That
frappé.
one high in the air, just behind third base, and it will fall in.
Oh, encore le vent, je crois, qui...
And it falls in just inside fair territory.
derrière la ligne du troisième. Le troisième était un peu réveillé là-dessus. La balle semble bouger énormément avec le vent qu'on a aujourd'hui.
And we are having a little bit of an issue with our scoreboard here. There is not a runner on third base, despite the fact that, whoops. And, okay, now the number, as that one just gets over the head of the second baseman, coming around to score will be McCauley. Stymist has to stop at second. And Julia Konigshofer gets another RBI. That's her 3rd RBI single in this game. And yeah, for some reason, third base is lit, even if there's not, and we do not have third base checked off. So
checking it and unchecking it. No.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but
and now the scores are 12.
It's now 12-6. Yes.
It's at 6-6 up here. Although it's 12-6, strangely enough.
Yeah. So. As an attempted double steal, but the Stymist gets caught stealing for the 3rd out. So one run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner ends up getting left on base as the inning ends with the double steal. And the score is 12-6 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and we're going to try and see if we can figure out what's going on with our scoreboard here, and hopefully we can, let's see. We'll, all right, so we go to the bottom there, and the inning has ended, so we're back down to 0 outs. And yeah, not quite sure what exactly is going on there, so we'll
clear scores, clear outs, maybe.
Yeah, try that.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
the window just pops out through there.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the home team.
Yeah, yeah, it's.
We got them backwards.
No, it says.
Yeah.
But home, it gets put above, so we.
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah.
So
it seems to have worked.
So it's Novus. Whoops.
It still has runners though.
Okay, so we're heading into the bottom of the 7th. Chimero is leading off. Eric, if you take over play-by-play while I work on the scoreboard here.
Oh, fausse balle de Chamaro qui la frappe dans le filet. So, foul ball from Chamaro. Our hitters in this inning, les 3 premières frappeuses vont être Elodie Chamaro, Mélodie Ouimet et puis Ellie Lasorsa Godmer. Oh, 2e prise. 2nd strike. Fausse balle. Et le Chimaru fait bonne présence au bâton. Balle, bro. Une balle, 2 prises. Oh, frappé au premier but. Jeu facile. Carly Jackson au premier qui fait le jeu facile. Premier retrait.
All right, I've sent a message to Dixon, so he is our technical expert. So hopefully he'll be able to get over here and give us a hand figuring out what is
Technically
going on with this.
une balle à l'intérieur.
As it's Audrey-Anne Vachon up at the plate.
Oh, there you go. A substitution.
Pinch hitter. And this is the first batter of the inning still,
second,
are we? Okay.
Second batter of the inning. First batter grounded out to first. I didn't mark it.
Okay. So after Ouimet pinch ran in the 5th.
She went in at short, I think.
Yes, she did. But now this is in the same spot in the batting order. So now it is Vachon. Okay, here. As there's a reason nobody else ever looks at my score sheets. So Audrey-Anne Vachon making her first plate appearance.
Une autre fausse balle.
And the count 2-2 here with one away.
Il reste plus beaucoup de frappeurs pour l'équipe Québec.
And a strikeout again by Hagen. And for Hagen, that's her third strikeout since coming in relief. And overall for Nova Scotia pitching, that is now 7 strikeouts on the day. Or sorry, 8, excuse me. And coming up with 2 away, Ellie Lasorsa-Godmer
Première prise.
takes a strike. The last chance here for Quebec in the bottom of the 7th. Trailing by 6.
Oh, frappé d'aplomb vers la gauche.
And getting over and making the catch is Stymist.
Excellent attrapé à gauche. La Sorsa-Godmer a donné une belle claque là-dessus.
3 up, 3
Et qui
down.
met fin au match.
And Nova Scotia opens the tournament avec une victoire.
Ah, et voilà. Oh, Mike, il va être bilingue d'ici dimanche.
12-6 the final score in favor of Nova Scotia. They go up to 1-0. Quebec 2 drops to 0-1. Both of these teams showed a lot of talent today. They've both shown that they are going to be difficult teams for the others in this pool to deal with. And all that's left now is the presentation of the players of the game. And a lot of real good candidates for both teams for player of the game.
Pitched really well. Lee pitched extremely well.
Offensively, you can look at Macaulay. You can look at Snow, obviously. Koenigshofer had a good game.
Koenigshofer, très bon match également.
Deblois.
Oui, même Noël Frédéric a joué un très bon match à la défensive.
Yes, Frédéric defensively as well as getting on base all 4 times she was up at the plate. So, you know, I don't think there's an argument that you could make against any player in particular.
Absolument, absolument. Je pense qu'il y a eu de très bons joueurs. Et voici l'équipe technique qui sort faire un petit rembourrage, s'assurer que le terrain est prêt pour le prochain match.
And as we await the presentation of the players of the game.
Holly Blanchette qui fait les honneurs aujourd'hui.
And while Holly's out there, we got to give her a huge shout out as well.
Absolument. Madame Blanchette, énormément travaillé pour organiser ce tournoi-là. Avec la pluie de la semaine dernière, elle lui a laissé très inquiète, mais félicitations sur le travail que Holly Blanchette a fait énormément fait toujours énormément de choses pour le baseball ici à Nouvelle-Écosse.
I've had the opportunity to work with her on Baseball Canada events now. I think the first one I did with her was in 2017 or 2018, and she has always been so fantastic to work with. She organizes everything so well, and it is indeed Noël Frédéric.
Noël Frédéric qui remporte la joueuse du match, qui se ramasse une jolie couverture tartan de la Nouvelle-Écosse. Et Holly McCauley, comme
McCauley, yeah.
Ouais, on avait quand même bien prédit.
So there you have it. Those are your players of the game. The feed will continue streaming, so if you want to watch the grounds crew at work, you can. If not, flip on over to the other diamond, catch the rest of that game between Ontario 2 and Manitoba, but then be back here in about 40 minutes when we bring you our next game. It'll be Quebec 1 taking on Ontario 1. That should be an incredibly close matchup. Until then, on behalf of Eric Fugere, this is Michael Petter saying, may your pitches hit the corners and may your liners reach the fence. Thanks so much for watching.